Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the online component of the Conceptual Design Public Information Center #1 for the Hall Landing Yonge Street Revitalization Project. My name is Kevin Brake, and I'm joined today by Max Lazo of Cosburn Giverson Landscape Architects, who's the design consultant for the conceptual design phase of the project. Jumping right in here, we have established a bit of a project vision for the project, and we are looking to establish an active transportation network by extension of the Lake-to-Lake Trail, create a destination for residents and visitors characterized by an attractive mix of businesses and services, as well as a place to provide services to the residents of Hall Landing and beyond, and provide a essential gathering place for the community to focus on and gather around. A brief project overview here. As you can see depicted in the map on the right, we have identified the project area extending from the existing Nokita trailhead at Mount Albert Road and Yonge Street, north through the main corridor of Yonge Street, past Bradford Street and Thompson Drive, all the way to Doan Road West at the north limit of the project. We're essentially looking to extend the Nokita Trail from Mount Albert Road north through the corridor as an extension of the Lake-to-Lake Trail in conjunction with York Region. And as such, both the town and the region are reviewing opportunities for infrastructure and streetscape enhancements to revitalize the Yonge Street corridor. Regarding scope of works and project phasing, this project is looking to anticipates, consisting of road improvements, improving sidewalk and trail connectivity, construction of the multi-use trail and/or path as noted, streetscape enhancements. A high-level commercial gap analysis will be carried out as well in conjunction with our economic development team, as well as AODA compliance for accessibility related matters with respect to, again, sidewalks, road crossings, street lighting upgrades, community gateway entry features, and wayfinding signage. Across the bottom here, you'll see we have highlighted the anticipated project phasing. Right now, we're within the public consultation phase. Later this year, pending the outcome of the public consultation period, we look to incorporate feedback received from the public to inform kind of a final conceptual design, which will then be used to inform a future detailed design exercise anticipated to commence next year. Following the detailed design, we'll be tendering for construction works, with construction anticipated forecast out to 2023 and beyond, again, depending on project phasing. As noted here, important to note, phases beyond the updated concept design are subject to future council approval and funding strategy. So high level here, project justification. Again, we're looking to establish a conceptual design for the entire corridor as a whole for continuity for the community, almost treating it like an overview type master plan type of document that will show kind of the vision for the whole corridor, and then we can implement through kind of our implementation strategy. Looking to, again, advance the Lake-to-Lake Trail and complementary enhancements. And a key component of this project will be leveraging grant funding available from York Region with respect to the Municipal Streetscape Partnership Program, as well as the Pedestrian and Cycling Municipal Partnership Program, and also the Lake-to-Lake Trail. As well, we're looking at federal and provincial grant funding options where applicable. The project seeks to improve the visitor experience and access to local business, also seeking to achieve a balance between active modes of transportation, pedestrians and cyclists, and vehicular traffic. As part of this project, future phases include road resurfacing and as well the Lake-to-Lake Trail implementation. And as noted here, the region has recently completed the pedestrian crossing at Hall Landing Community Center, slated to open tomorrow, October 6th. Quick slide here on enhancements completed to date. If you live in the area or have been through the area, you've likely seen these hanging baskets with the anchor motif hanger as well. We've also completed a planting bed, not pictured here, at the Nokita Trailhead parking lot. As well, the parking lot was recently paved, as well as an LID constructed low impact development drainage feature was constructed as well. And this year recently opened was the Doan Road and Oriole Drive pedestrian bridge and boardwalk connection that connects Oriole Drive on the west side of Hall Landing to Yonge Street on the east side, or to Doan Road West on the east side. Additionally, as noted previously, the region has recently completed the pedestrian crossover at the Hall Landing Community Center, which will be active as of October 6th. This project consists of a large amount of public consultation and outreach. That today marks, Public Information Center #1, which will be the first of many public engagement events throughout the process, as well as stakeholder engagement meetings. Project stakeholders include residents, York Region, obviously, as Yonge Street is the region-owned road, Hydro One, Rogers, Bell, Enbridge, all major utility companies, as well as community groups and committees and local businesses. Initial consultation with the region and utility providers has been undertaken just to determine or identify any project limitations, kind of showstoppers that would prohibit, anything kind of prohibitive. For example, the high voltage power lines along the west side of Yonge Street, the hydro corridor there, getting into moving that pole line would be very cost prohibitive for the project, and as such, we will be designing around that, leaving that infrastructure in place. Additionally, there will be one-on-one stakeholder meetings later this year as part of the preliminary design review. And further, as we get into detailed design in next year, there will be additional public information centers as well as stakeholder engagement through the various design milestones. So working with Cosburn Giverson, we've developed 2 concept plans. Option 1, we're calling Connected in Green, which really seeks to kind of limit the amount of impact or removals and changes through the corridor, kind of working with the existing right-of-way, existing alignments, that kind of thing. You'll see kind of as you review the concepts, it'll be obvious that the alignment of the lake-to-lake trail or the multi-use path meanders a bit more through the corridor, whereas with option 2, Connected and Active, we're calling that, as a bit more of a consistent alignment, standard width 3 meters throughout the whole corridor. Additionally, there are no changes proposed to the sidewalk on the east side of Yonge Street, whereas option 2 will provide for an additional sidewalk connection from Mount Albert Road on the east side of Yonge north to North Street. Further, option 1, more of a traditional design style that blends with the existing community, kind of highlighting the heritage of the corridor. And option 2 will be a bit more of a modern style, still, again, highlighting the industrial history of the area, but respecting the historical significance of Hall Landing. And then further, we have noted here that enhanced intersection pavement design with option 1, you'll note there will be, obvious when we get into the concepts here, but some enhanced pavement patterns within the intersection itself versus enhanced pavement design for crosswalks only in option 2. So we'll get into the design option #1, Connected in Green. And Max is here on the line with me as well. Should any kind of items for expansion come up, we will defer to Max for comment. So the design philosophy again for option 1 is as we mentioned, Connected in Green, trying to limit the impacts work within the existing corridor. And looking kind of high level here at the overview, we have starting at the south end, key intersection gateway here at Yonge Street and Mount Albert Road. The multi-use path is proposed on the west side of Yonge Street, meanders along the corridor here. You can see jogs and whatnot, bringing us to Bradford Street and Thompson Drive intersection here at the kind of midpoint of the project. And then as we go further north, past the Hall Landing Community Center and Beckett Avenue, Olive Street, we get up to the end and the final kind of gateway at Yonge Street and Doan Road West. Again, as noted here, there will be a multi-use trail with decorative paving strip on the west side, installation of trees and accent paving, that kind of thing, bollards and whatnot. And then the east side will focus on kind of maintaining the existing sidewalk alignment, but enhancing streetscape and street furniture where applicable or where feasible, and enhancing larger tree plantings that won't be obstructed by the high voltage overhead power lines. How's that so far, Max? Are we on good shape?
No, you said everything perfect, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you. So starting at the south end, at Yonge Street, you see here there's some entry planting feature as well as some public art proposed. As you cross the bridge, there is a proposal for some bridge and wall art. And I guess keeping in mind here, folks, as you are reviewing this document, we are looking and soliciting your feedback. And again, any comments you have, feel free to reach out via email or there is a form on the website as well to provide your feedback. And if you have any questions at all, my contact information will be noted here at the end of the presentation and also online on the website. So again, as I mentioned, we have, this is the existing trailhead parking lot area that was enhanced recently. There's some enhanced planting here and really intersection improvements and enhancements all around. You can see an enhanced crosswalk. This was the, the enhanced paving in the center of the intersection we touched on earlier, and, public art, sculptures, that kind of thing, tree planting and what have you. Just basically a general, streetscape enhancement of the area. As we move further north, there is heritage properties, just for information, are identified with this yellow hatching. So if you're seeing these yellow blocks, curious to know what that's all about, that's what that indicates. On the west side here, there is an historic courthouse building consisting of two properties. There are existing staircases here in the right-of-way that are planned to be removed, to be evaluated further through the detailed design process and in specific consultation with the impacted residents. But as if you're familiar with this area, there's quite a bit of grade differential here between the roadway and these existing properties. And so looking at just this conceptual option does indicate a retaining wall that would be required to kind of provide this connection, with some proposed screening, plant material screening the residents from pedestrians in this area. As we move further north, again through the corridor, you can see on the east side here, just some tree planting. This sidewalk connection is being omitted, left out. We will have to consider potentially a crossing here in the future to facilitate pedestrian connectivity from here, and then that will be evaluated again as we finalize our concepts. Important to note too is, as you review both these concepts, keep in mind that you don't have to pick one or the other. Really, the intent here would be to review both concepts, and if you feel that maybe there's bits and pieces of both that you find pleasing, or that you like, we can always we're working towards kind of landing on one concept that maybe incorporates the best of both, if that makes sense. So just keep that in mind as we walk through this. So again, moving further north, you can see here that the trail does meander slightly. Continuation down here. We do have benches proposed here, as well as bus shelters, that kind of thing. The multi-use path, you can see a detail there, some planters and whatnot. And this will be very consistent throughout. And the grade separation I spoke of earlier, you can see here in this photo. Again, there's that existing kind of condition there. So moving north of North Street, we kind of continue our way up past Walker Road here. Again, you can see the extension of the path. We're proposing some bike racks and a bike repair station. Again, conceptually right now in front of the fire station. All these locations are not carved in stone. This is really high level. Again, conceptual, soliciting feedback from folks here. We also show some, again, additional planting and also tree planting on the east side with kind of lower height plants on the west side. Max, I don't know if you can comment maybe on the tree planting kind of, or what these plants specifically may be, or just kind of conceptually proposed flowering trees, just kind of low height plant material, I guess, to avoid the hydro line.
Yes, Kevin. Because Hydro One, they have certain criteria when planting underneath their hydro wires. They don't want large trees under there, or else there's a lot of maintenance that's involved and actually can take down those wires. So a lot of these, we're limited to the type of trees and plant materials we can actually plant along that west side as a result of this, which is why there's a lot of smaller trees that are flowering that will look equally nice, which is why we've also left the east side of Yonge Street the opportunity to get larger mature trees, so you can alley nice trees along that west side, making a balance of this whole corridor with the streetscape.
Great, thanks, Max. Again, I did forget to note here, but the light standards as well, you can see here on the east side, we are referencing an enhanced light standard. And this is, again, conceptual. We do have some public realm design guideline documents that inform kind of the nautical theme for Holland Landing, but again, to be evaluated throughout detailed design, just understanding that we're looking at maybe more decorative type poles on the east side. Again, in conjunction with further consultation with Hydro One and other utility providers as far as what we can do on the east side. So continuing further north of Mortonville Drive, we will move up to our second major intersection concept plan. And you can see here along the northeast corner of the intersection, we're looking at, if you're familiar with the area, again, there's quite a bit of street furniture identified here in the photo with respect to intersection controls and whatnot. Conversations with York Region have been generally positive, and York Region is, very supportive of kind of the efforts here and are partnering with us through this, development of the concept. And we are looking at options to maybe bury some of the intersection controls and whatnot, again, to facilitate the proposed enhancements here on the northeast corner. The southwest corner, again, proximity to this existing home here, looking at adding potentially some decorative screening. Again, looks like a bit of an accent paving and a feature wall kind of item here. And on the northwest corner, again, very limited and tight for space here. So there is some shrub planting proposed here and modular planting as well. On the southeast corner, a bit more real estate here for consideration for unit paving and whatnot, and kind of you can see some samples of that enhanced planting or unit paving here. Again, nothing carved in stone here, just conceptual at this time, and then if we can kind of further review as required, and also extending here on either side of the intersection, kind of extending the streetscape enhancement both west on Bradford Street and east on Thompson Drive, just for that kind of cohesive feel for the community here. We also show, again, bus shelters as well. There are York Region transit standards to be adhered to here, but looking at options there with those folks as well. So Max, I'm not sure if there's anything else you'd like to add with respect to this intersection, or are we good to proceed north?
No, thanks, Kevin. This intersection was really unique. There was we were very glad to hear that we're getting a lot of cooperation from Hydro One and also from the York Region servicing in order to help clean up that corner. Mostly the northeast corner there with all that potential servicing blocks. We can go underground with that, which would allow us to actually do some of this landscaping upgrades and streetscaping. Yeah. But like you mentioned, a lot of these areas are also restricted because of the areas of the right-of-way. But, I think we're still fairly confident we were able to put the multi-use path in the location where we did. Given with the assistance with York Region, typically it's usually a 3-meter wide multi-use path that they require, but they're willing to go down to 2.4 to make things work.
Yeah, and on that, you can see here, as Max refers to, there are some existing utility poles where we're kind of creating these buffer areas and meandering around. And so that will continue to be evaluated as we proceed northerly here. Okay, so as we continue north of Bradford Street and Thompson Drive, along this existing commercial area on the east side, as well as the animal hospital and the commercial area, pizza plaza there on the west side. The trail continues up that side. We do again get into some proposed screening. There are also opportunities here for some ornamental grass planting, as well as taking the multi-use path down into that kind of existing sidewalk alignment. And as we approach the river crossing here, looking at likely a pedestrian bridge enhancement in this area. Again, to be determined, specifics to be determined through the detailed design process. As noted here, again, looking at widening that bridge out. As we interface at Dutch Southers, again, enhanced planting and ramping at this intersection as well with enhanced crosswalks. And you can see here the sidewalk maintaining on the east side. And again, more of the same, but continuing northerly. As we approach the Hull Landing Community Center entrance, you can see here we have denoted the recently installed pedestrian crossover facility that will connect the west side to the east side of Yonge Street at the community center. Again, enhanced planting, building on the existing enhanced plant material and signage works that were done recently in this area, just kind of enhancing the overall look and feel of the area with unit pavers and whatnot. As we continue north to Olive and Beckett Avenue here, you can see again more of the same, just intersection enhancements, planting enhancements, and extension of the multi-use on the west side. Again, trying to limit impacts as much as possible to existing properties here, but also maintaining a bit of separation from the roadway here with a bit of a median strip here you can see, denoted by, I believe, accent paving is proposed there. Is that correct, Max?
That's correct, Kevin.
Great. Okay, and as we proceed north, again, you can see here as we approach the S curve on Yonge Street, again, meandering around this, creating a median here around this utility pole, two-directional pathway there kind of narrows around that. And then we continue here with our 3-meter wide multi-use path proposed on the west side. We also have proposed here, I believe, a bit of an infiltration type feature or ditch on the west side. Was that correct, Max?
That's correct, Kevin. We're trying to make this sustainable within the west side area. Trying to work with Cloca and York Region with these initiatives.
Yeah, it'll be with the LSRCA in this case, and York Region. Also here we have again LED swales that would again kind of create an enhanced treatment of that runoff. And continuing north again, further, more of the same again, approaching the intersection of Yonge Street and Doan Road and Doan Road West. And you can see here, we'll continue here to our final kind of feature intersection concept. We have some feature sculptures proposed on the west side, as well as a planting bed with wayfinding signage and whatnot over here on this corner, the southwest corner. And also, again, more enhanced planting, more intersection enhancements, a feature curved kind of feature seating, and you kind of see the corresponding photos here that match with the key numbers here on the plan. So this intersection again is proposing crossings, and there will be obviously evaluation as far as from a traffic perspective, evaluation in conjunction with York Region on the treatment of this intersection and traffic control and that kind of thing, to be evaluated again through a detailed design process to ensure public safety. And again here, this feature intersection is proposing potentially this intersection enhanced paving area in the center, and decorative paving, whatever you'd like to call it, again to be evaluated based on public feedback. And again, here's a sample of the light standard, proposed light standard with the banner. You can see the banner poles here, as well as hanging baskets. Again, that kind of enhanced street lighting feel. So moving into the cross sections, this just kind of helps visualize a little bit. So at the south end where we started, again, you can see the existing utility pole, hydro pole on the west side, where the alignment of the multi-use is proposed kind of just behind here. And then we have a bus shelter in front as well. And then this is the road section, and then we demonstrate decorative lighting on the east side with pedestrian kind of indicated there on the east side as well at this accent paving area. As we move further north slightly is the trail, multi-use trail north of this intersection, and kind of just a bit of a cross section here of the west side and the east side as a standard as you'd see through it. So again, the trail is separated by a bit of a median kind of curb here and slight median strip, and multi-uses here with the utility poles remaining on that west side, and then these shrub type flowering shrub tree plantings as well. On the east side, you can see larger tree planting proposed with, again, a bit of understanding of scale there with these proposed light standards with hanging baskets and banners. So Max, that's folks, this is the end of the concept one, connected in green. I don't know, Max, if there's anything you'd like to add in that regard.
I think you mentioned a lot of details here. We're hoping to get initiate some feedback from the residents, the local community, and just to see, if there's certain elements that they like, and after we discuss concept two, everyone can get a better understanding of what they like and what they don't like. So
great. Okay, so moving into design option two, connected and active. Again, the philosophy here on this plan is a consistent 3-meter wide multi-use path through the corridor, following a bit more of a consistent alignment again, and really focusing on that active transportation connectivity with the full use of that 3-meter width. It also looks to improve connectivity on the east side of Yonge Street of the corridor by connection here of extension of this sidewalk on the east side down to Mount Albert Road. We're looking to enhance tree lighting, very similar as far as what we're going to do, just maybe this stylistically slightly different. Again, we're commenting here as far as a bit more of a modern look, enhancing the industry and marine style of Holland Landing. Again, respecting the heritage of the area, but with a bit more of a modern twist, if you will. So again, same format here, just for ease of understanding. You can see with our 3 key intersections and heritage homes and whatnot, and we can read through here the proposed corridor strategy with respect to what the plan is here. So moving right into it, at the south end again, we'll kind of just walk through this likely a bit more quickly than the first, because there are again similarities, just stylistically, just a bit of differences here. So again, you can see on the south end, rather than sculptures, there is the proposed feature wall, potentially with some gateway signage. Again, accent paving. See a bit more of an enhanced planting plan here with enhanced paving. Again, bus shelters are proposed to be evaluated further. This is just very conceptual at this point, high level, subject to further review, obviously, through the detailed design. Again, this intersection approach here is more conventional, I guess, with respect to crosswalks only being enhanced. The field paving or enhanced paving, the intersection here is not proposed as part of this option. Again, this component as we move north here will include require a retaining wall, but again, the alignment here is slightly different. Max, is there anything else key we should touch on here at this intersection for this phase?
Yeah, no, that intersection, the reason why we didn't put that marking was also just to, we're not even sure if York Region would accept this, that type. So we wanted to show people just in case that,
Sure.
how that option would look like from this type of perspective.
Right, great point, thank you. So as we continue north of the intersection again, we have denoted the location again of this, the courthouse building, a heritage home, and again, understanding sensitivity here with respect to privacy and other things. The staircases again to be evaluated and determined as far as future detailed design to determine kind of the treatment here. Again, you can see the consistent 3-meter multi-use path with the delineation of a retaining wall. Again, sidewalk as we mentioned. As we get up to North Street, or excuse me, School Street here, we do have a retaining wall proposed as well. Again, with intersection enhanced paving and crosswalk. Continuing north, more of the same again, with again a bit more, just again different style. You can see a consistent alignment through West Street here, and as we go north to North Street, adjacent to the existing townhouse block here, we have proposed. It looks like again some paving and bus pads here. And Max, this paved area here, what is that representative of? Again, just kind of a gathering spot potentially, or kind of the?
Yeah, it's just a more of an elemental element change here in terms of design changes. So what we're trying to achieve here is just different styles that were with the concepts. So that's all it really is.
Yeah, great. Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving north again, as we approach the Walker Road intersection, you can see we get some proposed themes here with respect to the different items that are proposed. We have tactile plates again for accessibility, and I probably didn't note that specifically in the previous concept, but as noted in our initial overview, accessibility will be looked at and evaluated throughout the corridor and ensuring that we are adhering to the required accessibility standards. Again, very clean, very linear kind of approach here to the design, and kind of highlights that kind of active transportation connection. Again, we're looking at maybe some decorative fencing and barriers here, as well as tree planting, enhanced tree planting on that east side, and then decorative street lighting again as well on the east side. Okay, getting again to the coming to the second feature intersection here at Yonge Street and Bradford Street. You can see here just again slightly different concept design, very similar as far as what we're going to be doing. Just again, just some different options presented here as potential for the public realm, modular seating, decorative fencing with shrub screening. We did highlight here as potentially an anchor motif tying into the history of Holland Landing, obviously, and again accent paving, feature walls, bus shelters again in the multi-use path. So happy to discuss any of these elements further with folks if they'd like to reach out to us directly. Be more than happy to accommodate any questions and receive any feedback once you've had some time to interpret and review. Yeah, Max, again, I don't know if there's anything else to add here. I think we're in a pretty good shape.
No, nothing to add, Kevin. Like you said, there's a lot. We're trying to solicit feedback from everybody. There are different ways. There are many different ways of accenting each corner. As Kevin mentioned, the accent paving is going to be consistent throughout. What we're trying to show here, there's different ways to show this. And then even the introduction of certain site furniture and materials. Again, this will be outlined in the detailed design of how we're going to be pursuing this and what actually will be accepted by York Region as part of the sponsors and helpers in this revitalization vision.
Thanks, Max. Okay, so moving north again, as we proceed north of Bradford Street, you can see here the sidewalk continues on the east side, multi-use on the west, again, consistent alignment. Difference here, a little nuance as we approach the commercial area rather than proceeding down into the valley system here. We do propose keeping the trail up, and maybe there's a suggested, a bit of a widening or extension for the pedestrian bridge. Again, just an alternative option. Keeping that alignment. Again, subject to review. This is not final by any means. Just very conceptual at this point, just to provide potentially a different approach. As we extend north of the pedestrian bridge, again, intersection enhancements at Dutch Settlers Court with respect to streetscape enhancements at the intersection and with the ramping and then tying into the existing streets, as well as planting. Moving north again at the community center, same as before, highlighting the existing pedestrian crossover, a bit of a more direct connection here on the crossing at the trail, and again, to be evaluated further. And also, and you can see here, proposed planting plan at that community center entrance for consideration. Different types of seating shown here with respect to benches, and there's an example of the tactile plate for accessibility that we discussed earlier at the sidewalk ramping, and again, feature wall with seating here. So again, lots of items to consider. Moving north of Beckett Street, or excuse me, Beckett Avenue and Olive Street. Again, enhanced planting on the east side, existing sidewalk remaining on the east side as well. Enhanced lighting and the extension of that 3-meter multi-use path along that western portion of the corridor, excuse me. You can see here we have proposed some, a rest station and bench with planting, just as a little kind of a rest stop along the way here on this side of the street for pedestrians. And again, continuing the trail here on the west side, excuse me, with the proposed LID swale, similar to the previous concept. Okay, and moving north, approaching Doan Road again, more of the same here. You can see things consistent stylistically, and just a bit of a different option. Okay, and finally, at the final gateway concept plan, kind of the north gateway, proposing here a bit different again, rather than having we saw some public art previously on the west side, just now proposed on the east side. Also have again feature wall with lighting and some downtown gateway signage. Again, specific wording, and that would be subject to again, additional public consultation and part of the detailed design and what we actually land on. Just showing some ideas for folks to consider. And again, as mentioned previously, this intersection does indicate crossings all directions. And so from a traffic perspective and traffic safety and control perspective, to be reviewed further with York Region. So again, that concludes the option 2 design review. Moving into the final cross sections here for option 2, you can see again the multi-use is kind of closer to the roadway here along the curb line with some separation, minor separation here with the curb, and then again on the east side shows kind of that existing cross section with the decorative lighting. And as you move kind of further north, you can kind of see the various sections, west side and the east boulevard here. So the property line, in this case, we show a bit more separation here with the swale. This would be kind of a sample of that swale noted at the north end, the LID feature, and you can see the multi-use path here along the roadway. So Max, I think that kind of covers us off from a design review. Anything you want, any final comments on the design concepts or from your perspective?
I think recognizing the 3 intersections, Kevin, is really vital, and enhancing those would really liven up this whole corridor and trying to focus on that. So as you can imagine, like there's certain elements here that we can try and keep, but it's hard to keep introducing different elements where given the restrictions that we have, especially with hydro and just the way the streetscape is going to be completed, knowing how these types of projects happen, and you have to work in coordination with a lot of stakeholders. So we're hoping that this is something that the residents can select and choose from, and hopefully we can move forward from this.
Great. Okay, so moving into next steps, we have noted here to incorporate public feedback from both design options presented at the PIC and develop a preferred concept plan and concept design. We're looking to take a report to council seeking approval in principle of that concept, and also looking to prepare for detailed design subject to budget approval for 2022. Further stakeholder engagement, as noted previously, is key to this project, and there will be anticipated to be additional public information centers and online commenting options available for folks as we proceed. One thing additionally, just summing up kind of our previous conversation and then regarding the project is, again, this is the early days here, and quite a bit of concepts to consider here, and just kind of serve as a jumping off point for folks to provide their feedback. Further, obviously, there will be infrastructure improvements required prior to getting into the, I guess we'll call it the pretty side of the project, and some of that streetscape enhancement and multi-use piece. And existing infrastructure will be assessed throughout as part of that detailed design process, and repairs and replacement of infrastructure and underground utilities, that kind of thing, will be evaluated as well. So just want folks to keep that in mind as well as they consider this project. As far as project contacts, you can see here and additional information. Myself, Kevin Breaker, happy to answer any questions, and you can see my contact info there as well. Frank Mazzata, representing our Parks branch, Parks Development Operations Manager, and his contact information. Further, the website noted here for the project is available, and we are looking to receive comments online until October 15th, which will allow us some time to then incorporate those comments into the concept plan as we move forward. And finally, thank you. Thanks for taking the time to review the presentation and review the material with us here online. As mentioned again, please provide any comments, and if you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thanks very much.